Yes, sir. So we are going to look into the answer for this process costing question. According to me, a very good question. First, we will analyze what is happening, my dear lovable students. Sir, in process costing, my dear lovable students, generally, sir, if you want to find out the cost per unit is equal to total process cost minus scrap value of the normal loss divided by input minus normal loss unit. Sir, in this question, sir, generally this formula will be used if 100% of all the elements of cost such as material, labor and overhead has been fully completed. But if there is WIP, that is opening WIP or closing WIP, or if you are having different percentage of completion of cost for different degree, then this formula will not work out. My dear lovable students, sir, what alternate formula is, the denominator is the problem and numerator is the problem. Then the cost per unit will be material cost divided by equivalent units of material plus labor cost divided by equivalent units of labor plus overhead divided by equivalent units of overhead. This will be the formula. That means we have to split the formula into element of cost wise. So if you see the input output analysis of this question, sir, the total input is equal to, there is opening WIP of 9500 kg. So totally 9500 kg was there as opening stock. Add fresh unit introduced, totally 1,05,000 kg has been introduced by yourself. So 9500 plus 1,05,000 comes to 1,14,500 kg is what you processed. So that 1,14,500 kg should be classified into two categories. Number one, normal loss and expected output. Normal loss at the rate of 10%. In this question, normal process loss may be estimated to be 10% of the material input. So material input is only 1,05,000 kg. So 1,05,000 into 10% comes to 10,500 kg, my dear lovable students. Students may take a wrong normal loss. They will be applying on this full value. You should not apply on full value. So the expected output will be 1,14,500 kg minus 10,500 kg. Yes, sir. So 1,14,500 minus 10,500 means 1,04,000 kg is the expected output. Out of that 1,04,000 kg, we are having completed units. How much is the completed units? 83,000 kg are completed units. Comfortable, sir? Sir, we are having closing WIP. Sir, the closing WIP has been given as 16,500 kg. Fantastic to the core. So, 1,04,000 minus 83,000 minus 16,500 comes to 4,500 kg is what the abnormal loss. Is what the abnormal loss. This is what they have written as part of the answer in the statement of equivalent production. Opening is 9,500 kg. You introduced 1,05,000 kg. Totally 1,14,500 kg. Fantastic to the core. Units completed 83,000 kg. Normal loss 10% of 1,05,000, 10,500. Abnormal loss is a balancing figure 4,500 kg and closing WIP 16,500 kg. Total to total 1,14,500. Fantastic to the core. Now I am going to calculate the equivalent units. That's what step number one. Equivalent units is nothing. If units completed means it would have been completed in all aspects, right, sir? So 100% for material and 100% for processing cost. So 83,000 into 100%, 83,000. Again 83,000 into 100 percentage come to 83,000. Super, sir. And normal loss, I will not value the normal loss because the cost of the normal loss should be absorbed by the good units. Because in the main formula, cost per unit is equal to input minus normal loss. I want only the expected output. So I will not value the normal loss. Fantastic, sir. With regard to abnormal loss, 4,500 units, question specifically said that if you see, sir, here, any loss over and above the normal loss is considered to be how much percent complete? 100% complete in material and processing. That means, sir, it is 100% complete in the sense means here 100 percentage and 100 percentage, 4,500 and 4,500. But closing WIP, they said that 100% with regard to material and 60% with regard to processing cost. So 16,500 into 100 percentage come to 16,500 and 16,500 into 60% come to 9,900. So the equivalent units for material is 1,04,000 unit. And the equivalent unit for processing cost is 97,400 unit. So what does it mean? Actually, you would have incurred material cost. Yes, you have incurred material cost. What is the material cost you have incurred for the opening WIP? 29,500. Plus, what is the material cost you have incurred during the period? 3,34,500. This is the total material cost you have incurred. So 29,500 plus 3,34,500 comes to 3,64,000 is the total material cost you have incurred. This 3,64,000 is not all for the completed units, right? So there is a concept of equivalent units. How many units equivalent production? 1,04,000. So for every completed unit, you have incurred 3.5 rupees as the cost. So instead of taking the full cost divided by expected output, I am breaking the formula into the material cost divided by, sir, equivalent units for the material. Coming to the processing cost, how much is the already processing cost you have incurred for opening WIP? 14,750, which is given in the question. And what is the total processing cost you have incurred during our period? 2,53,100. Surely in this 2,53,100, some part of the cost I would have used to convert the opening WIP into finished. Some part of the cost I would have used to complete the finished goods. Some part of the cost to manufacture the closing WIP. So I have not incurred this for my total input. I have incurred 2,67,850 for 97,400 units only. So for every one completed unit, 2.75 rupees will be the cost. That means 6.25 rupees per unit will be the total processing cost for every completed unit. Getting it? So the same answer can be alternatively present like this also. You have to see the question and tell me what is the material cost you have incurred for opening WIP? 29,500, which is already given in the question. Plus what is the total material cost incurred during our period? 3,34,500. Total comes to 3,64,000 divided by, sir, what is the equivalent units of material? 1,04,000. That means for every unit completed, I spend 3.5 rupees as material. Getting it? And look at the processing cost. What is the total processing cost you have incurred for the opening WIP? 14,750. Plus, what is the processing cost you have incurred for the, sir, current period? 2,53,100. So totally you have incurred 2,67,850. Yes, sir. Sir, this much cost you have incurred for 97,400 equivalent units means 2.75. That means 3.5 plus 2.75 comes to 6.25. The same answer alternatively very easily presented. Are you comfortable? If yes, I just want to know your comfortness. Now, my dear lovable students, what they want in part number 1, the question is saying that prepare and determine the cost per kg of chemical G. In process number 1, using the weighted average cost method, since the valuation method is weighted average cost, my dear lovable students, which is nothing but I will be including the opening cost of WIP plus current period cost divided by opening units divided by the total units which I have introduced. Correct? So total cost divided by total number of units, but all the units has not been fully completed. So I can't take the total number of units. There I have to apply the equivalent units. I have applied. So the first part I have done, I have find out the cost per kg of chemical G. Fantastic to the core. So I have done the equivalent statement of cost for each element I have done. Now, sir, this is the cost per kg. Fantastic. What is the part number 2 of the question? Prepare a statement showing cost of chemical G transferred to process 2. So they have manufactured some X amount of kg. Out of that, 60,000 kg has been transferred to the next process. Cost of abnormal loss, yes, 4,500 kg are abnormal loss. And cost of closing WIP, yes, closing WIP has not been completed in all aspects, my dear lovable students. If that is the case, look at the step number 2, the requirement number 2. Statement showing cost of chemical G transferred to process 2, cost of abnormal loss, cost of WIP, unit transferred. You tell me how many kg has been transferred to the next process for further processing. 60,000 kg. For every one completed unit, you will be having material and the conversion cost. Total comes to 6.25. So 60,000 into 6.25 comes to 3,75,000 is the answer for the first part. Right. What is abnormal loss? 4,500 kg. Even abnormal loss is also fully converted, sir, fully completed. So it should also be valued at 6.25. Correct, sir? So 4,500 into 6.25 comes to 28,125. Closing WI means it has not been fully completed. So material, labor, overhead will be there. Here overhead only represented as process cost. For material, the equivalent units for closing WIP is 16,500. You can take from here, my dear lovable students. For every completed units for material, 3.5 is the cost. So 16,500 into 3.5 comes to 57,750. Whereas for processing cost, the equivalent units is not 16,500. If you see, the equivalent units is 9,900. So 9,900 into 2.75 comes to 27,225. So this is the value of the closing WIP. If you see, basically 3,75,000 plus 28,125 plus 84,975, 4,88,100. Sir, in addition to this, actually closing stock will also be there. Why? Because question is saying that they have manufactured 83,000 kg. But out of 83,000 kg, only 60,000 kg has been transferred to the next process. So 83,000 minus 60,000 comes to 23,000 kg will be there still as their stock. So that 23,000 kg should also be valued at 6.25, my dear lovable students. So 23,000 into 6.25 comes to 1,43,750 will also come to the cost. But that has not been asked in the question. Plus 4,88,100 comes to total 6,31,850 will be the total to the total. If you see here, the total cost what they have written 6,31,850, which has been perfectly matched in part number 2. Coming to part number 3, which is a decision making question. What they are asking is STG, that the company is considering the option to sell 60,000 kg of chemical G of process number 1 without processing it further in process number 2. So they don't want further processing. They want to sell at the split off point itself, like after completion of the process number 1. Will it be beneficial for the company over the current pattern of processing 60,000 kg in process number 2? So what we are supposed to check? What is the profit we will be getting after further processing of 60,000 kg, or what will be the profit status if we sell at after completion of the process number 1? That's what a decision making part we are doing here. Calculation of incremental profit or loss after further processing? Very simple, man. Daily further processed. How many kg now we are further processing? 60,000 kg. Into, sir, it will multiply to 1.2 times. So the output will be 72,000 kg. After further processing, every kg can be sold for 10 rupees. So 7,20,000 rupees will be the sales. So what are the cost incurred, my dear lovable students? Sir, 3,75,000 rupees is the cost what you have incurred from process number 1, which is nothing but 60,000 kg into, for every kg you have incurred 6.25. So 60,000 into 6.25 comes to 3,75,000. Fine. In addition to that, for further processing, we spend material 85,000, which is straight away given in the question, and further processing cost of 50,000, which the straight away given in the question. So the total cost we have incurred for further processing, including the cost what we have incurred in process number 1, is 5,10,000. So from 7,20,000, if you reduce 5,10,000, you will be getting 2,10,000 as the profit if you are further processing 60,000 kg. But if the company is of the opinion that we don't want to do further processing, we are selling at the split off point, that is after completion of process number 1 itself, still I can sell 60,000 kg, but don't expect 10 rupees selling price. There will be getting only 9 rupees selling price. So your sale price will be 5,40,000 comfortable. Less cost of input without further processing. If I am not further processing, this 2 additional costs no need to incur. But I will be surely incur the 3,75,000, because if I incur that cost only, I can manufacture the product. So I am reducing just 3,75,000. Then my profit without further processing will be 5,40,000 minus 3,75,000 comes to 1,65,000. That means if I am further processing, I can enjoy 2,10,000. Whereas if I am selling after completion of the process number 1 itself, I will be able to get only 1,65,000. So if I am further processing, I am having an incremental profit of 45,000. Why the company have to lose that? So it's better to transfer 60,000 kg to the process number 2 and let them do the further processing. Additional net profit on further processing is 45,000. Therefore, it is advisable to process further. Chemical G is what the final answer for this. What a beautiful question from process costing. Same thing can be, think like this, my dear lovable students. This is just an alternate presentation. If you want, you can take this calculation of incremental profit or loss. Sir, there are 2 things are there. 60,000 units you are selling at 9 rupees, then you will get 5,40,000 rupees, right? This is my option number 1. Sir, if 60,000 units are processed in process 2, 60,000 will be multiplied by 1.2 times and everything can be sold at 10 rupees. So 7,20,000. So here, if I am traveling through option number 1, I will be getting 5,40,000. If I am traveling through option number 2, I will be getting 7,20,000. So my incremental revenue will be 1,80,000. In order to enjoy this 1,80,000, these 2 are my incremental cost, which are my material cost and processing cost, which comes to 1,53,000. So I am having an incremental profit of 45,000. Here also 45,000, alternate way of thinking. So additional net profit of further processing in process number 2 is 45,000. Therefore, it is advisable to further process chemical G. I believe that you are able to get a fantastic question. And this is a past examination, my dear lovable students, which is May 2022. If you got the right answer, I'm very happy. If you got the line of thinking, I am very, very happy, because in costing, it's not whether we are getting the answer or not. Whether we are able to proceed with the question or not matters a lot. If you are getting any sense of improvement by doing this, I just want to know your happiness and where you went wrong by way of your comments, my dear lovable students. With this, a superb question from process costing decision making question comes to an end. We'll meet at the appropriate time.